Emily Carter was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona, USA, near Reed Park Zoo. Since she was little, Emily's parents often took her to the zoo to see the animals. From the first time she saw the lions, Emily's little heart was deeply moved. But every time she looked at the old, sick lions, her eyes turned red with pity. Emily often stood for hours by the lion cage, whispering words of encouragement to those proud creatures. She did not understand why the lions were so sad and lonely behind the cold bars. One day, standing in front of the rusty cage, Emily silently promised to save the unfortunate lions. "When I grow up, I will definitely become a biologist," she vowed, clasping her small hands. Every time she went to Reed Park Zoo after that, Emily brought a notebook to record her observations. Emily's love for wildlife grew and blossomed with her childhood. In college, Emily studied animal biology at the University of Arizona, specializing in wildlife. She spent many years studying the behavior of big cats, especially African lions in captivity. Emily was always an excellent student, persistent, patient, and full of compassion for animals. After graduating with honors, she was quickly hired to work at Reed Park Zoo, where she spent her childhood. Emily's job was to care for, feed, clean the cages, and monitor the health of the zoo's lions. Every morning, she went to check on each lion, carefully recording their health status. Sometimes, when she saw the old and weak lions wandering around in the cramped cages, Emily's heart ached. There were long nights when she couldn't sleep, thinking about the helplessness of the kings of this country. A bold plan gradually grew in Emily's heart, to return them to their natural home. But she knew it would be a difficult journey and would require a lot of effort and support. She quietly researched animal reintroduction programs and wildlife reserves in Africa. Every night, next to the pile of documents on her desk, Emily nurtured her big dream. Her love for lions, for nature, and her desire to return them to freedom grew stronger. She began writing letters to international conservation organizations, looking for someone who could help her plan. And then, one day, Emily read about Shamwari Private Game Reserve, a paradise for wild animals. Shamwari Private Game Reserve, located in the Eastern Cape Province of South Africa, is famous for its reintroduction programs. Emily immediately contacted the reserve management and expressed her desire to return the lions from the zoo to the wild. The answer was a young and enthusiastic ranger named Thabo Masiko, head of the reception department. After many email exchanges, Emily was invited to South Africa to survey the actual reserve. Putting aside all worries, she booked a plane ticket, preparing her luggage to go to the wild continent. When the plane landed, the scent of African land and sky welcomed the little girl full of dreams. Thabo was waiting at the airport, shook her hand firmly and smiled warmly. "Welcome to the natural paradise." With Thabo, Emily explored each golden field stretching, each dense forest full of life. They came to thousands of hectares of areas, where lions, elephants, and rhinos lived freely as in the beginning. She could not help but be moved when she saw the lions roaring in the red sunset. Emily and Thabo made a detailed plan to receive and release lions from American zoos. A project called Home for Lions was officially launched, with her as the project leader. Thabo and the sanctuary staff assisted her in preparing the quarantine cages and legal procedures. Emily began to call for funding from animal protection organizations and international donors. The project quickly attracted widespread attention from the media and the animal-loving community. With a burning passion, Emily knew she was on the right path she had chosen since childhood. Every day, she and Thabo worked diligently, checking each initial cage. She told herself, the kings would soon return to their motherland, where they belonged. After 3 months of careful preparation, Emily returned to the US to take the next step, saving the lions. Standing in front of the airport, watching the plane take off, Emily's heart was filled with strong hope. Back in Tucson, Emily immediately presented the project to the Reed Park Zoo Board of Directors. The zoo directors expressed their full support for the young girl's humane plan. She signed the necessary legal documents to remove the elderly lions from the zoo. Sponsors also quickly joined in, funding the transportation and initial care costs. Emily was taken to visit an old, frail male lion named Max, who had almost lost all vitality. Max's eyes were sunken, his fur was ragged, and he walked weakly in the cramped cage. Emily gently sat outside the bars, whispering to Max, giving him peace of mind. After many complicated procedures, the day to take Max on the road finally arrived. A large cage was prepared, and Max was injected with a mild sedative to reduce stress during the flight. At the airport, Emily kept her eyes on Max's cage, holding his hand as if to support her friend. She boarded the plane with Max, accompanying him on the journey back to the motherland of the South. After a long and tiring flight, they landed in South Africa, where Thabo and the staff were waiting. Max was taken straight to the quarantine area, where the natural sunlight soothed the old lion. In the first days, Emily and Thabo stayed by Max's side, watching every little movement. Max began to eat better, his eyes shining with a long-lost hope. Emily patiently played with him, training Max to regain his wild instincts day by day. Gradually, Max walked more steadily, his fur gradually shining under the African sun and wind. When Max roared for the first time in the vast grasslands, Emily burst into tears of happiness. She knew, Max was feeling true freedom for the first time in his life. That night, sitting by the fire, Emily felt a deep peace in her heart. She whispered, "Welcome home, Max." Max's success quickly spread, and many other zoos in the US proactively contacted Emily. In just the next 3 months, the project received 4 more old and weak lions. All of them were lovingly cared for by Emily at Shamwari Reserve. Under the blue sky and endless fields, each king regained his life instinct. The lions were released into the vast area, began to hunt, and became independent step by step. Emily and Thabo could not help but be moved when witnessing this miraculous revival. The first steps, the roars, all like the triumph of freedom. The Home for Lions project quickly became an international model for wildlife reintroduction. Emily was invited to attend major conservation conferences, sharing her inspirational journey. But for her, the greatest reward was the bright eyes of the lions returning to nature. Emily Carter is now not only a biologist, but also a rescuer of free souls. She continues to expand the project, hoping that more and more animals will be returned to their true homes. On the Shamwari Reserve, Emily and Thabo silently continue to write the dream of liberating nature. Amidst the rustling wind and the echoing roar, the love between humans and nature becomes immortal. And Emily knows that her journey has just begun. Dear friends, thank you for taking the time to watch the whole video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Goodbye and see you in the next episodes.